Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beth and this is Spiral Path Arts. And I do a little bit of everything here on my channel. Lately, we've been focusing a lot on sewing projects and different crafty stitch and thread type of things. But I also renovate and decorate my 130-year-old house, as well as some gardening and other interesting things. I hope at least they're interesting. So today we're back to a sewing project, a finished project. As I've mentioned in other videos, I've had a little part-time side hustle gig this summer, well, through the spring and into the summer, at a local establishment where I do a little bit of everything. Everything from hostessing and running the cash register at the front to bussing in tables and washing dishes in the back, whatever needs help. And last summer, I made 2 seersucker dresses because living here in Alabama, I discovered that I really needed something to look cute and crisp and nice that wasn't hot and sticky and wrinkly and messy. Well, at my little part-time side gig, a lot of local ladies come in for lunch with their friends, and a style choice or style that I have been noticing this summer, and I don't, it's not new for the summer, but it just seems to be kind of a southern middle-aged woman trend, if you will, or style choice, is some white linen pants and a cute top. And especially little white linen, like cropped pants of some kind. And so I thought that looked crisp and clean and easy wear. So I made this outfit. So let's talk about this outfit. First of all, we're going to start with the pants. First of all, I used Style Arc, the Milan woven pant pattern. And I've had this pattern for a little while and just hadn't been able to find quite the right fabric for it. So this is some of the style details. It is cropped. They're nice, big, loose, baggy kind of pants with these inverted pleats in the front. It has an elastic waist, but also a drawstring waist. So it's nice and secure. Of course, side pockets and your usual fitting in the back. I've been wanting to make these pants for a little while. I didn't think I had the fabric. And then I remembered that a few years ago when I still lived in Chattanooga, I went to one of those bin stores. If you're not familiar with these, they get in these huge pallets, boxes of usually Amazon returns. And there can be anything in these boxes from electronics to socks, underwear, housewares, toys, books, all kinds of things in there. And so I had gone to one before I left Chattanooga, and I found in there one single linen curtain panel. And so the pair had been broken up. There was only the one, and I don't remember how long it was, probably 84 inches long. But I said, that's pretty nice linen fabric. I'm going to buy that. I'll probably dye it or embroider it or make something out of it. So when I was thinking about these pants, I went and dug it out of my basket that it was stored in. And lo and behold, there was just enough fabric to make these. I did have to piece a couple of the waistband pieces or something, either the casing and or the waistband itself. But that's no big deal. I just pieced it and made a longer piece of fabric instead of cutting it on the fold. And I figured if the fabric ends up not, being a little too sheer or not wearing well, I literally paid a couple bucks for this entire piece of linen. So thought that was a win. Let me talk about the pattern. I love the way the pattern turned out. I think maybe the next time I make it, because I do think I will make these pants again. I do like them. I might do something a little different with the waistband. I'm either going to just make it elasticized, or I'm going to make the front waistband flat with no elastic in it, and then just elasticize the back panel, the back part of the waistband. Well, why don't you show us all your goods there, big boy? Yeah, I don't know. Now I woke the beast. Anyhow, so that the front doesn't have all this, but I don't mind this because they're nice, just kind of comfy pants. But as written, works fine. If you watched my last video that I put up about the Sew Liberated pattern, the Penny Pinafore pattern, and I talked about how they write their instructions for their assembly instructions, Style Arc is a different approach to that. Sew Liberated goes into fine detail and covers every little thing and walks you through it pretty step by step. Style Arc, not so much. So if you're not an experienced sewer, you might struggle a little bit. Their instructions, they have now started adding at least layout instructions. Some of their earlier patterns didn't even have that. But they have, and also they're starting to put a few more illustrations in some of their patterns that I have noticed lately. Some of the first ones I did, it was all just a little paragraph of text and you had to figure out what they were talking about. So they do have more illustrations. But I will say their section about sewing the legs together on this particular pattern is, if you compare I'm sorry, I keep flapping this around. If you compare the illustrations to the words, one of the two is out of order of the way they want you to put it together. This is not my first pair of pants, so I just did it the way I would put pants together. So it wasn't the end of the world or didn't throw me into a spin. It was just kind of annoying as someone who knows that people struggle sometimes with knowing the order of operations when it comes to putting something together. But otherwise, they went together really quickly. I think I made, after cutting them out, the assembly part took an afternoon. I know, I'm a little faster sewer than some people, but total time. Okay, so now let's talk about the top. I discovered, well, first of all, I'll tell you the name of the pattern and the pattern designer. This is the Vista top from Twig and Tail, T-A-L-E, like story tale, twigandtail.com. And I discovered this one, oh boy, my brain is going to not remember the other YouTuber's name. I can picture her. I'll have to go look her up because I can't remember. I mean, I watch her quite often, but my brain has just forgotten what her name is. She reminds me a lot of one of my friends, and so that's why my friend's name is in my head, but it's not her. They don't have the same name. They talk, anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, Twig and Tail, she has made numerous of these tops, and I was watching her recently, and it was like her top favorite makes or top patterns or something, I don't know, or her capsule wardrobe something. And I thought, that is a really cute, simple woven t-shirt top. Not, it's an elevated, it's not knit, it is for wovens, but it fit her amazingly, and she is a plus size sewist, so that always is a good indicator that they're size inclusive. I love this pattern. It comes with 2 sleeve lengths. These are there's an elastic, you turn under and make an elastic casing, and this is the short sleeve or the elbow length, and then they have what they call bracelet length, which is a full sleeve. I toyed with the idea of leaving the elastic out and just having them be kind of floppy, flowy sleeves. But with this fabric and the way I work, what I do, I thought that would be annoying. A lighter, floatier fabric, I think it would be pretty, but I didn't do that. They also have an optional add-on to this pattern that is like 6 or 8 other sleeve variations. So I might look into that unless I just decide to figure out how to draft. Some of them were like, they were almost like lamb. What's that? Leg of lamb or mutton. Same difference. Mutton, leg of lamb. Mutton sleeves, that are big and then narrow, kind of a Victorian look, which, I might want to make some Victorian looking clothes. I don't know. Some of the options were things I couldn't envision myself wearing, but a couple of them maybe I would. But that option is there. If you don't like these big puffy sleeves, I like these. I think it's the only top I have currently, but it's a trend I have seen lately with these kind of fuller sleeves. And they've got side dart, bust darts, and you have the option of a curved hem like this, because I knew I more than likely would wear this untucked. So I decided to do the curved hem, but they also have the option for a straight hem that's just slightly longer. Obviously it's longer where it curves, but slightly, maybe an inch longer. So if you want to tuck it in, you have that option. I think that's all I have to say about the pattern itself and the style itself. The pattern instructions. Now, it is night and day, and I'm not dissing Style Arc. I have a lot of Style Arc patterns and I really like them. So they have a nice variety and they always seem, for the most part, to fit me. So I'm not dissing Style Arc, but if you're not an experienced sewer, their instructions could be a little more challenging. Similarly to Sew Liberated, Twig and Tail has you covered. I did not print out all of the instructions step by step that came with this pattern, but they're there in the PDF. I figured I'd pull up the PDF if I had a problem. More on that in a second. But they literally have everything step by step with good photographs, detailed photographs of what you're supposed to be doing at that step. Love that. But what I also love as a person who likes to save paper and printer ink is they also just have at the end of the pattern every step just in print, just words, no illustrations. And I figured this is a really simple pattern and I should be able, I know how to set in a sleeve, I know how to make gathers, I know how to put in a facing. I got this. There is one tricky part in here, and it is how the shoulder seams, which is usually a very simple thing, but you've added the front facing, understitched it, pressed it down, and the back has bias binding. The back neckline doesn't have a big facing, it has just bias binding. And it's interesting how it goes together. I've never, I don't think ever assembled a top like this. So I was trying to get this whole garment done in like 2 days so that I could wear it to work, or a day and a half. And I'd finished the pants. The only thing I had to do on the pants was like a little bit on the waistband. And I started the top. And I was like, so normally I would be able to sew this top in an evening, I thought. Well, I got a little hung up on their different technique of putting all of this together right in here. But what did I do? I went and got my computer, I opened up the PDF, and I looked at their photograph illustrations and wrapped my brain around it, came back in here and did it. And I love, now one side, because I ripped it out, I unpicked the shoulder seam like 3 or 4 times. So this side is not quite as smooth of a transition and it's a little wonky, and that's all on me. But I always wear my hair over that shoulder anyway, so nobody's ever going to see it. This side I got pretty much spot on. So just know that. Otherwise, it goes together easy peasy and ends up perfect. I did not tell you about this fabric though. If you've been with me for a while, back when I was going through my divorce and I was still in Chattanooga and I was kind of in a low period of my life, my sister sent me this huge cardboard box full of fabric. She was going through a clean out of her stuff and making more room and purging things, and she put together this collection of fabric. And she used to teach sewing and she had a studio. She's an artist, And she just, like all of us, it seems, just kind of slowly accumulates more and more fabric. And she was given a whole bunch of random fabric from somebody. I have a whole bin of wool fabric that was given to me from someone. And then I moved to Alabama. Anyway, this was in there. And every time I'd go through the fabric that I got from her, I would pull this out and I'd go, I don't know what, kind of looks like a tablecloth. It kind of looks, and it's peachy pink. It's more peach than pink. And I don't wear a lot of pink, yellow, and orange, which I discussed in the last video that I made, where I made a bright yellow outfit and I didn't have thread to match because I never sew with yellow and orange. So I guess I'm in my yellow and orange phase, peach phase. But I was trying to find something to make this top because I really wanted to make this pattern because I have an idea for another one, but I wanted to go through it once first. So this is, I guess, kind of a working muslin, but a nice working muslin. She does not remember, and I have not determined exactly the fiber content of this. It is not cotton, but I did a burn test and it did not melt. So it's also not like, doesn't have any plastic, polyester or anything in it. My guess on the way it burned, it's either 100% silk or got a lot of silk content. That's my guess. Because I don't think it's linen. It doesn't behave like linen. And I haven't laundered it, so this might be the only time I wear it. Because if I launder it after this and it is silk and I ruin it, well, c'est la vie. Thing is, I have almost enough of this, probably enough of this to make another top if I so chose. It might be home deck fabric for all I know. But again, it doesn't seem to have any polyester in it, so it's high-end home deck fabric if it is. I was thinking I was going to make like pillow covers or something for it, but I just never got around to it. So anyway, it's lightweight, but it has it's got quite a bit of body to it. It's not flowy. And I thought that would work really well with these puffy sleeves and everything, and it would look nice. So this was basically free. I mean, I paid for the pattern, but if I make 3 or 4 tops out of this pattern, the pattern has paid for itself. Now, I want to say that Twig and Tail, I want to say they're in New Zealand. They're from New Zealand or Australia, but I feel like New Zealand. But I always, so I don't get their pre-printed fabrics or pre-printed patterns. I always get the downloadable ones and print them myself. They have both metric and imperial measurements in here. Now, there looks like there's a whole lot of pattern pieces in there, and there are, because the first time I did it, I printed off the wrong size. I printed G instead of J. And it was like 9 o'clock at night, and I just, whatever. And then luckily, before I started cutting, I realized my mistake and went back and printed. So I got to find somebody that wears a little bit smaller size than I do and give them that pattern. A note on downloadable print-at-home patterns, if you haven't tried them yet, I highly suggest, because I just get a whim that I want to make something out of something, and I can literally buy it, print it, have the pattern put together, sitting in front of my television the next day, cut it out. And I live way far away from any kind of resources for big 4 patterns. Yes, they're more expensive, but I have gotten so many nice, more unique looking, well-fitting garments by using print-at-home, independent designer patterns. If I lived across the street from a Joann and could just hit those dollar pattern sales, I might feel differently, but it's been a long time since I have used, I think, a big 4 pattern for anything, because I've just found all these other patterns that are just unique and special and are size inclusive, well-written instructions, everything. One of the problems I had early on using these type of patterns, though, was that you buy them and you have all pattern sizes from 0 to 24 or above, depending on the designer, right? And if you've ever used a multi-size pattern, finding your line to cut, pain in the butt. And then some of them, you can print them in color, and okay, my size is the green line, and I gotta always remember I don't like to always use my color printer. Again, I don't like to waste paper and ink is expensive. Well, most of the designers now there's some older style arcs that have not been converted this way, but everything I have bought in the last year or two has been this way. They have the layered feature. So you can go in with your Adobe, your PDF reader, and click off all the sizes you don't want to see, and it will only show you the size you want. And you say, oh, well, I'm a 14 on top and a 16 on the bottom, whatever it might be. Then keep the 14 and the 16 lines on there, and then when you go to cut your pattern out, you grade between the two, and Bob's your uncle. You have a customized pattern for yourself. So that is what I'm going to tell you about this outfit. I'm wearing it to a dinner tonight. That is kind of a special occasion thing, but not special enough for a dress. And I almost wore it to work yesterday. Good thing I didn't, because we were slammed, and I was in the kitchen helping, and I probably would have gotten something on my new white pants. So good thing I wasn't there or didn't wear this. I hope you like this. I hope it's helpful. And I am not affiliated with either Style Arc, So Liberated, Twig and Tail, or any of these companies that I tell you about. I'm just a person just like you who finds a pattern they like, finds some fabric they like, and sometimes that fabric is in a bin under the bed or at a resale shop or something like that, and finds a pattern that's so I can make a unique wardrobe for myself for pennies instead of going to boutiques and spending big money, because I don't have big money for clothes, but I have time and talent, and I can make some cute outfits, I hope. So you'll definitely see more of this pattern. I already have a plan for this pattern using more recycled fabric, and I'm probably going to do more of a in detail video on that. And that's why I wanted to do this one too, because this is a little bit more precious fabric. No, didn't cost me anything. So it's not precious by monetary value, but it's precious that if I cut it wrong, there's no going back. So I wanted to be sure I had what I wanted or knew how to make what I wanted. Anyhow, I hope you have a great day, great week, great month, great year. And come back again sometime in that time frame and give me another watch, another listen, and get down in the comments and tell me what you think of my almost free outfit. And does this color look okay on me? I did put the pink glasses on because I thought that would complement. And again, I don't know, I feel like every time I make a video, I make it like 20 minutes after I get out of the shower and my hair's always wet, but it's either that or I was out working in the yard today and I was hot and sweaty, so that would have been what you got. So here we are. I was trying to say goodbye. So here's my very long drawn out outro. I think that's kind of my signature, if you will. You know, others have like little catchphrases and things, and mine is just saying goodbye for 5-10 minutes. So all right, thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again soon. And I also have some exciting, it's definitely exciting to me, work being done on the house, but I have chosen to not do this work myself for a variety of reasons. And we're at about the first 15 to 20% of the work has happened and is happening. So in another couple weeks, I should have a full video of what's happening, but that's your little teaser to come back, especially if you're here for a little more home projects and old house stuff, because it's all that, okay? But there might be a little sewing in there, because it's going to need, it's going to need decorated with soft goods at some point. So there's a good chance there'll be some sewing related and decorating related content as well once we get a little further along in the process. So again, thanks for being here, and we'll see you soon. Bye.